Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
What makes a great pair of glasses? At Warby Parker, it's all the invisible extras without the extra cost. Their designer quality frames start at $95, including prescription lenses, plus scratch-resistant, smudge-resistant, and anti-reflective coatings, and UV protection, and free adjustments for life. To find your next pair of glasses, sunglasses, or contact lenses, or to find the Warby Parker store nearest you, head over to warbyparker.com. That's warbyparker.com.
Surviving Sister Wives contains adult content that may not be suitable for Latter-day Saints or sinners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Sister Wives.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly. And this is Seeking Sister Wife, Season 5, Episode 9, Seeking a Silver Lining.
It's a Silver Linings playbook, sort of an episode here.
I don't even remember that movie.
Is it up for Best Picture?
Wasn't that a depressing movie?
I think there were people with depression in the movie.
Well, same.
But I think it was a
uplifting film?
Heartfelt, romantic, sentimental movie.
Okay, I don't remember any of it. The important thing, though, this is a big, big weekend. It's a margarita day in our house.
Well, it is, yes. Cinco de Mayo. We are recording this on Cinco de Mayo. Yesterday was Star Wars Day. Yesterday was Kentucky Derby Day.
I'm sorry, Kentucky Derby Day?
Kentucky Derby? Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Is that where they raise ducks? I would watch that.
I would rather eat fried duck than fried chicken. If you know, you know.
Okay. That's a real fancy fucking answer. I'll have the duck.
I'll have what she's having.
We're getting off course. The important thing is that Mary Brown has a very important announcement that she's probably already made by the time this episode comes out.
Monday, May 6th, a day that will live in infamy.
She's launching something. Hashtag worthy up.
Hashtag sober up, because she's going to be soaked in mint juleps from Saturday and then margaritas from Sunday. I don't know what we're announcing on the 6th.
I hope she does a live.
Friday with Friends on Monday? Might have to. We're going to have to explain what is going on, because all of these teaser videos that are edited by the puppet from the Saw movies are really getting to me.
I'm not going to recover from that one. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Man.
Where does Mary go from here? There's only up. Do you have a theory on what it is?
It's some sort of MLM. It has to be. Nothing burger of an MLM.
I think that she is launching a motivational speaking career where you're going to have to hire her for a lot of money to be your career coach, your life coach online. And then you have to take classes from her to learn how to become a life coach yourself. And then she comes to speaking engagements and she charges a lot of money. And she probably has a podcast. Will she stick with it?
Well,
it takes a lot of grit, Mary Brown.
Yeah, it's the life coach thing. She doesn't have a great track record of life coaching.
Her own
life. So I don't know if I would give her the reins to my life, or how much in shambles my life would have to be to hand over the reins to Mary Brown.
We will find out. All I can tell you is her website is now password protected. Before it was a 404 error. Now it's password protected. So they're keeping it a real big secret. until the 6th.
But by the time the episode comes out, when you're listening to this, go check it out, I guess.
I think it's worthyup.com. I think that's it. I hope that doesn't take you to a porn site. What are we here to talk about today? Seeking sister wife.
Seeking silver lining.
What did TLC define this episode as, Corey?
Danielle arrives in Brazil to attend Garrick and Natalia's wedding. The Sherwoods ask potential sister wife Sara to be exclusive. April Davis has a tough conversation with her brother. The Salahoudins get advice from another polygamist couple.
I'm upset that the Ryans weren't in this episode.
The Ryans were severely lacking from this episode. I felt their absence.
They're scary and everything, but yeah, they're bringing the reality TV to reality TV, and we need them back. Much more than the Salahoudins.
Yeah, Salahoudins are just... Is it a cooking show? Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're trying to launch here? Because dating show, it's not really going so good. But we know that's not the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So Carly's going to have to give us that episode rewrite description for the real deal.
Nathalia gives the Merrifields an introduction to sex ed. A future Florida man gives April Davis a reality check. Shane and Ashley ask Sara back for round 3 of interviews. Nailah pretends she doesn't know that girl named Jealousy.
Where should we begin?
Can we just talk about the Merrifields?
The Merrifields?
The Merrifields. The Merrifields, the Merricks, as I call them every week.
Murray and Millions and the Merrifields. Well, I think Danielle's just trying to find her husband. He's been missing for 6 weeks, so she's going down to Brazil to look for him.
Well, she knew he was there. She just doesn't know if he's actually coming back. So you think that's why she went? Because she's like, we're getting on the same return flight, sir.
She's going to have to drag him on board. But she is wearing her hoop earrings, so I don't think she was ready for a fight.
No, you wear your hoops to a fight, Corey. You put your hair up, you take your hoops out before it's time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She has the hoops in right now, so she should not be fighting in her current state.
Not yet.
With the hoop earrings.
No, she's fighting other ways. She doesn't need to get into a fist fight with Nathalia.
It's true.
She's on the offensive here.
Can we talk about how Garrick is the background on her cell phone, though?
Yeah, we have to talk about that. What was this? So, first of all, she's giving herself essentially a Darcy bird bath in the car, which is not a car that belongs to Garrick or Nathalia because neither of them came to pick her up at the fucking airport.
Yeah, she didn't get picked up at the airport. This seems to be an Uber. I thought for a second maybe she jumped into a rickshaw and then there was going to be like a $1,500 bill to get to the apartment that they're staying at. Those rickshaws aren't cheap. You got to be careful.
No, luckily this gave her enough time to freshen up, do her makeup in her phone while she's in the car. And yeah, it's Garrick, not her children, not a picture of her and her sister, Nathalia.
Yeah, Nathalia. No. It's Garrick's mug staring back at you every time you go to unlock that phone to open a plethora of dating apps.
You think she's got the apps on her phone too?
No, it's just Garrick. Yeah, do you think that Danielle is on Garrick's phone? Who is on Garrick's cell phone lock screen?
Ooh, we need to know.
That's the real question.
See, these are the questions you have to bring to their Instagram lives, y'all. They do an Instagram live after the episodes air. Let's ask the real questions.
It wasn't like a candid photo either. It's like a posed photo. Like they deliberately got press photos done so that she could put that on the back of her phone.
It was that professional looking?
It was very well done, well composed shots.
Maybe she just edited him a lot into oblivion.
I don't think she did. No, there wasn't an AI Photoshop generator there that was happening. I don't think.
Well, she's in Rio. She's a little nervous because she's going to see Garrick and I was going to say Danielle. She's Nathalia. What the fuck's her name?
Yep, Nathalia.
I keep calling her Roberta number 2, so it's hard to remember. She's not going to be around that long. We don't really need to know her name.
Mm-mm.
She's going to see them for the first time in person since she talks to them about the pregnancy. And it sounds like she told Garrick she was pregnant, and that's pretty much been the extent of the conversation so far.
Do you think he told Nathalia? I guess he told Nathalia.
No, he seems to have told Nathalia because she is not happy.
Because she was backing into dates on the calendar and trying to line them up with a lunar schedule, figuring out what Danielle's cycle is.
She's doing a lot of math.
There's a lot of stuff going on. Danielle's getting the sneaking suspicion that it feels important for her to be here because Garrick marrying Nathalia seems like a big step. And even though she's not really on speaking terms with Garrick or Nathalia, she should probably be here because she's technically part of the family. So she went out of her comfort zone because she didn't really want to come here.
Well, Garrick didn't really give her an out.
Well, yeah, and I think she was fishing for Garrick to convince her to come along for this and that she is wanted and included as part of this. Like, that's what she wanted to hear last week. And she very much did not get that from Garrick.
No, the only thing he told her was, it's going to hurt Natalia's feelings if you don't come.
And yeah, you will be a third wheel. It's going to be weird.
It's pretty much going to be like that, but you should come anyway because it's going to hurt her feelings. And all I care about is Nathalia right now. Bring the baby along.
So yeah, Danielle is making the trek down, but she's feeling like the other woman in this relationship. She feels like she's walking into Garrick and Nathalia's relationship instead of Nathalia joining into Garrick and Danielle's relationship.
She's like the mistress who accidentally got pregnant.
And now she's on your doorstep after a claustrophobic elevator ride from hell in this building.
That was a really small elevator, wasn't it?
Very small.
That's normal in other places, but still terrifying. You couldn't even have met her at the curb to bring her bags up?
No, she is toting everything with her. She's flying solo on this trip.
I thought that Nathalia looked incredibly annoyed from the first moment that she saw Danielle.
Well, there was a big hug at the door.
Yeah, that's fake.
An obligatory hug. And then I like how Garrick turns into Garricky Ricardo. Well, that's how Nathalia was calling for him because everything gets E added at the end. So Garricky.
Well, we've seen that before. That's because of Portuguese.
It's not uncommon.
That's how we got Biggie Housey.
Yes, it's true.
It's rooted in fact.
There were kisses that happened between Garrick and Danielle as part of this meet and greet that happens in the hallway here. Very light pecks, smooches, very tame.
You feel like it wasn't the kind of kiss that you give someone after not seeing them for 6 weeks and finding out that they're pregnant with your child?
Yeah, it felt a little...
Wasn't giving that vibe?
A little different than that.
Well, they are pretty much mad at each other. They're really pretending that they're not. I feel like they're doing a pretty good job. They seem like their normal selves in front of the cameras.
Well, it's because Danielle doesn't have her cell phone footage that she's shared with the producers yet, because I'm sure there's a fight or two that we're going to get to. But first we have to go over sleeping arrangements, which I feel like this is another big problem in their relationship, where Danielle always calls way too much attention to when there are instances where people are sleeping together, and she calls it out and makes it weird. Because Nathalia was basically saying, oh, here, you can stay in this room and Garrick can stay with you and then my room's over there. And Danielle was like, oh, me and Garrick staying together? Oh, what? Playing it off like this was out of the ordinary for her, which, I mean, it probably is. They don't sleep together at home, so why would they sleep together here?
I feel like she's good at making veiled bitchy comments. Like, oh, okay, so I'm going to have my time with my husband after he's been with you for 6 weeks. That's so kind of you.
Because you've been banging it out nonstop for 6 weeks here while he's been down here?
With the condoms, though, hopefully.
Well, I guess, yeah, we'll have to see.
Remember when he was so pumped to get Roberta, number one, pumped up?
Well, he was pumping a lot of pumping.
He was trying to get her pregnant, like ASAP. They haven't talked about that with Nathalia.
So maybe he's changed his stance. Not before marriage.
I don't think so.
No, I mean, no pregnancy before marriage.
I'm going to say that's probably Nathalia.
It's just anal until marriage. Just to be safe. But Danielle's having a really hard time getting a read on these people because she hasn't talked to either of them for a significant amount of time. And then she's flown internationally to come visit them. So it's hard to get a read on where everybody is, but she's finding out how this journey has been going for the marriage that's supposed to be taking place here in Brazil. Turns out this week we've hit a bit of a speed bump because someone from the government agency found out that Garrick has been living sort of plural with Danielle in the United States.
That's kind of weird, huh?
Who
right?
could have done that?
How in the world did this person just somehow find that out?
this week of all weeks, the week that the wedding is supposed to happen.
Well, I guess I'll say, like, maybe don't make your username on Instagram Wifey Merrifield. Even a simple search would come up with these results. That's what she's saying to them. You think she has the hotline for the Brazilian consulate? She alerted them to this marriage?
I think she sent somebody an email. I think that was all that it was going to take. She knew that all she had to do was raise that flag, and then it was going to call immediate attention for additional background check.
Things aren't off yet, though. All they know is that someone found this out. It doesn't seem great. All it means so far is that it's taking the judge longer to finalize their paperwork.
And this is where Garrick is crying, because that would mean that Nathalia would be delayed getting to America for at least another few months, which this just seemed to strike me as a man who had ordered a sex toy on Amazon and was upset that the shipping was going to be delayed.
Well, he's going to return back to the United States. He's going to have to go find something closer to home. That is what this man is going to do.
That is how the rest of the season seems to be playing out. And Danielle doesn't feel too bad about this. Whatever happens will happen. It's God's will, God's plan.
I did love that she brought that up again. You know, it's just that's the way God works in these mysterious ways.
Like when he puts these ideas into my head that I should call a Brazilian consulate and let them know about Garrick's marriage status.
Or, you know, a baby into my uterus.
Whoopsie doopsie. How did that get there?
So do you think that that's what Nathalia, Roberta number 2, even intended to ask about? She did look at Danielle and say, how are you feeling? But from what we saw in the editing, it was off the heels of the fact that they might not get the approval to get married.
To which Danielle was like, yeah, whatever. What's going to happen is going to happen. So I guess it's just not sooner rather than later. I guess you're going to have to wait a little bit longer to get to the U.S. here.
But then it turned into a conversation about the baby and the pregnancy.
We shift gears pretty quick into this alleged surprise pregnancy, which doesn't seem like much of a surprise to Nathalia.
Well, that's because Nathalia thinks that they should understand how babies are made. Because she starts saying a lot of words, right? She's like, you, Garrick, no condom, fertile day, equal baby. And Danielle's like, can someone please get a translator out? I don't understand any of the words that she is saying at this very moment.
Those were all pretty clear words that she was laying out there at that time.
She is speaking much, much clearer English, or those words are the same in Portuguese. But she's thrown a lot of things out there that make a lot of sense associated with one another. And they're acting like they don't understand family planning or natural cycles, or that she doesn't have an app on her phone. I actually think she doesn't. That's my opinion. I think these two have been raw dogging for 14 years and they just don't track anything.
Luck of the draw. I feel like she's been secretly on the pill for a while.
Oh, you think? Did she stop?
She's the other way, yeah. And I think that the reason why Danielle is so upset in this conversation is that Nathalia read her so hard.
Well, she's been doing that this whole time.
Yes. So this is spot on. This is just tracking more with what Nathalia has been doing.
Can I just say, though, I don't know why I was kind of offended when Nathalia brought that up. Just because it seemed like something that was very personal. And we don't see those lines crossed on Sister Wives. The Brown family don't talk to one another about these types of things.
They don't get weird. Yeah, they don't go weird.
And they don't share information about planning for babies.
And that's how everybody gets the same cold source.
Did we see how it keeps the peace in the family in comparison to this?
Does it keep the peace?
No, I'm
not so much.
None of this is peaceable, as Danielle would say.
Yes. Because just a few days later, while Garrick and Danielle are working out in the other room, but that's not a euphemism for anything, don't get it mixed up. They were actually just doing a workout.
They like to work out together, typically in the garage where God speaks to them.
But there is no garage in this apartment complex, so they're doing what they can. And then Nathalia gets a call from the judge who says, you guys can't get married because you're up to no good.
This all played out beautifully for Danielle, didn't it?
Because then she gets to go, oh, no.
Yeah, because then they go on a walk, Danielle and Garrick, and they leave Nathalia to pout in her room or whatever she's doing. Danielle doesn't care anymore. And Garrick's like, you know what? I guess at least the one good thing that came out of this is that you're pregnant.
Well, I just like how Garrick was able to pick up that everyone is distressed about this, but not really, because Danielle is beaming. She is overjoyed that she gets to go out on a walk with Garrick one-on-one. It's like they're dating again. She does feel like the mistress in this situation here. She's finally getting some one-on-one undivided attention.
And it's going to be at least, another, did you say 9 to 12 months till Nathalia can, no, it was a year and a half.
8 to 18 months.
Just enough time to have a baby within. But it's going to take that long for her to come here now on a K-1 visa because they're going to have to do the 90-day fiance visa instead.
And my favorite part was how Garrick had to go into a whole rambling spiel about how he doesn't understand the intricacies of the laws in Brazil about marrying multiple partners or committing bigamy.
How does he not know that by now?
He was trying to marry somebody from Brazil previously.
Right, and now this is the second person. You flew down there with the intention of marrying her. You didn't Google anything, and she has a law degree in Brazil.
I think you should probably be able to come up with a few different answers for some of those questions.
If you can't figure that out at this point, especially with Nathalia having a law degree, I don't know. I think you need to find a different place to search for your next sister wife. Someplace a little more open to polygamy.
Well, it sounds like they're going to keep things domestic for the next one.
Well, he can't do another fiance visa. He can't endure the wait.
It's too long, too much time. But Danielle's taking this as a blessing of at least we get to take things slow.
It's a major blessing.
Yeah,
of course.
Is the blessing in disguise for Danielle because this was the plan all along. We got to hit the brakes on this, pump a little bit of time into this relationship, and it should fall apart on its own.
Well, we're going to have to see what happens because Garrick is worried about the fact that that's how things fell apart with, or at least how he thinks things fell apart with Roberta number 1, was that he didn't spend enough time with her. They were apart for too long. He didn't get to go on frequent visits to see her. So is that going to mean that he's going to plan another trip out to Brazil on the heels of this one?
Got to get him distracted with something else. We need to order another distraction in place here.
The pregnancy wasn't enough?
Pregnancy's not enough because he's already disconnecting from that right out the gate too.
So do you think that she got pregnant on purpose?
I do.
You do? So you agree with Nathalia. Nathalia definitely thinks that this was all a scheme. It was all devised by Danielle to get his attention back.
And I feel like Danielle may or may not have sent an anonymous email to the Brazilian government and the lawyers and judges involved in the decision-making process for Garrick and Nathalia's wedding.
I will say somehow she always seems to come across as though she is the puppeteer in the background of these relationships. So it is odd that things have played out so perfectly yet again in her favor.
Because, yes, she's made it abundantly clear that Garrick operates on the universe decides, God decides, and these things that happen, things that fall into place. So Danielle has taken it upon herself to secretly engineer some of those opportunities and situations to work to her benefit instead.
I do think she's pretty lucky, if this was her intention, for it to have actually worked out the way that it did. But, maybe God's on her side after all these years of enduring a marriage with Garrick.
So far, so good. And she knows if time won't break this up, another potential sister wife probably should seal the deal because you got to stick with the tried and true methods.
She's throwing everything she has at this. It's really spaghetti against the wall. Let's see what's going to make them break up. I cannot wait for our mysterious suitor from Michigan to show up.
It's happening.
To make switching to the new Boost Mobile risk-free, we're offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
So why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Because you have nothing to lose. Boost Mobile is offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
No, I asked why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Oh.
Wouldn't.
Because you love wasting money as a way to punish yourself because your mother never showed you enough love as a child?
Whoa. Easy there.
Yeah.
Applies to online activations. Requires port in and auto pay. Customers activating in stores may be charged non-refundable activation fees.
Hey, it's Rich Davis from Covino and Rich, here to tell you about the legacy of excellence Toyota has been building for years. From developing hybrid technology to upping the standards of safety and efficiency, Toyota is always innovating, always making progress. And with a superior lineup of in-stock SUVs, including the adventure-ready RAV4 and capable, affordable Corolla Cross, you can experience the legacy of Toyota for yourself. Visit buyatoyota.com, the official website for deals, to find out more. Toyota, let's go places.
When it comes to weight loss, no two people are the same. That's why Noom builds personalized plans based on your unique psychology and biology. Take Brittany. After years of unsustainable diets, Noom helped her lose 20 pounds and keep it off.
I was definitely in a yo-yo cycle for years of just losing weight, gaining weight, and it was exhausting.
And Stephanie. She's a former D1 athlete who knew she couldn't out-train her diet, and she lost 38 pounds.
My relationship to food before Noom was never consistent.
And Evan, he can't stand salads, but he still lost 50 pounds with Noom.
I never really was a salad guy. That's just not who I am. Even through the pickiness, Noom taught me that building better habits builds a healthier lifestyle. I'm not doing this to get to a number. I'm doing this to feel better.
Get your personalized plan today at Noom.com. Real Noom users compensated to provide their story. In 4 weeks, the typical Noom user can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Individual results may vary.
Hey, true crime fans. Tired of ads interrupting your gripping investigations? Good news. With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. After all, ads shouldn't be the scariest thing about true crime. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free true crime. That's amazon.com/ad-free true crime to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Shall we talk about the Davis family, since we really didn't have the Davis family? We just had April this episode.
April and her brother Billy, who's moving to Florida soon, and they're just out for a drink and a kind of backhanded chat.
Billy's the kind of person that I don't feel like I would have a lot in common with, but I deeply enjoyed seeing him read his sister like this. I appreciated the pure honesty that Billy brought to the table this episode.
Yeah, he's not sugarcoating anything here.
We know right out of the gate he does not approve of April's lifestyle, and he doesn't seem to be Nick's biggest fan either, which is such an interesting dynamic because April was wife number 1. She was the OG. So he's seen this evolve since the beginning.
And he's calling out things directly. I mean, about Nick basically taking advantage of these women and how he's not on board with that. What did Nick do before there was a baby in the house? He didn't contribute anything to the family. Are you actually happy? Are you satisfied? Are you fulfilled in this relationship? Which April has to convince Billy that yes, she is. But the more things that Billy brings up, it seems to be causing April some distress when she thinks about it more, because she doesn't have clear answers on that. What did Nick do in the house before there was a child in the house? There is no answer.
Well, she doesn't want to say. He studied science. That's what he said he did. He didn't really do much. He did things that were of value to him personally, but not so much to everyone else. But now they're at this crossroads where they're thinking about dating again. And Billy seems to know what went down with Danielle.
He's calling out, maybe this is moving too fast. Maybe you're forcing things a little bit too much. And April is convinced that things worked out great with Danielle, even though they were moving fast. So they should continue moving fast. But then Billy had a moment to point out, well, yeah, it worked out so great that Danielle already moved out once. So how's that still going?
I don't think that April spends any time reflecting on this relationship. It just seems like she lives in her own alternate reality where this is all working out exactly as she had hoped, even though that's far from what's actually going on.
Can we try and figure out why April looks like a claymation character in her isolated interviews?
No, she does look like a celebrity deathmatch claymation, does she not? It's partially like the makeup, too. It's contributing.
It's the lighting, I don't know what it is, but yeah, she just looks like a stop-motion claymation person that's playing the role of April in this show.
That's so terrible.
It was weird.
It's true.
It was distracting is what it was.
Don't they all kind of look like claymations, the whole Davis family?
In their photo on HBO Max?
At any point in time, all of them collectively look like a set of claymations.
Not in the Smash Room. I'll give them that. They looked like human animatronic people that were actually involved in the space around them. I don't know. The talking head interviews this episode, it just threw me for a loop.
Must have been the lighting. We're going to blame it on that.
Yeah, it didn't help.
They're really knocking it out of the park with Danielle, so why are we going to add someone else here? It's a big question.
Time will tell. That's the storyline for every single family this week.
Well, you're rushing things, and I guess time will tell.
And I think we have a general idea of what time will tell means. It's going to blow up in your face at some point, but I'm not going to tell you that right now, but I will remind you of the warnings that I gave when it does happen.
Let's talk about Shane and Ashley, because their story closely reflects that same theme in that they are rushing things and only time will tell of how it all works out.
And there's an interesting dichotomy that's happening in this storyline because we have the fact that they are rushing stuff with Sara, who they are initially trying to date here. Sarah's wanting to take some time.
We have to talk about the timeline here because it seems as though this has happened in the course of a week and a half. Because later they go out and eat with their friend and they talk about the fact that they had a date with her earlier in the week, the three of them. So this is sometime the same week and they're inviting Sara to their home, which already seems like a big step in a relationship. But they have plans to press her further than that today.
And Ashley is very bubbly and animated and excited talking about Sara. You can tell that Ashley genuinely likes Sara and is very excited about the prospect of this relationship moving forward.
Yes, but can we stay in reality in the fact that this is very, very new? Because
it's true.
When you think of it like that, she's a little too excited, a little too quickly.
She's enamored right now. Who does Sara look like? I need help with this too. She looks so familiar and I cannot pin it down.
I don't know, because we've gone back and forth on this. Really, because it's someone we know in real life? Is it someone that we've seen on TV? But she looks like someone.
A vague generality of, somebody from high school. I don't know. Let us know if you have any ideas of who this woman actually
Does she look
resembles.
familiar to anyone else?
Does she look familiar to anybody else? Are we just crazy? I don't know.
Where were we? Sara showed up at the house to look at their fish. Why do they have so many? Was it more than one fish tank? It felt like there was one in every room.
No, I'm pretty sure it was just the one fish tank, but it felt like more than that.
It felt very imposing.
There was a lot of fish to show her in that one tank. Like too many fish, probably.
Did they like individually go through this fish, that fish, what they all are?
Like a Dr. Seuss book?
One fish, two fish.
Red fish and blue fish? Kind of. But this is where Sara was elaborating on her feelings where these haven't really felt like dates. They've kind of felt like interviews. Like she's looking for something a little bit more casual, a little bit more laid back.
That's a bad sign, though, because that's what they're not looking for, Shane and Ashley. But what she just thought that maybe it would be a little more fun than it was, because it felt like she was just answering one hard question after another.
Well, all of the compliments that Ashley gives Sara as part of this conversation is only adding to the interview vibe. She's
it was so uncomfortable.
She's talking about how creative and
you're beautiful and fascinating, creative, and this and that. And it's like, do you want to hire me or not?
Yeah,
because this feels like you're leading it up to like you're going to let me down at the end. If you're this, you're that. Your resume is very impressive.
And when somebody is telling you, I think we need to be a little bit more relaxed and laid back as far as the approach to this relationship. Shane and Ashley's immediate response is, let's ask her to be exclusive.
They don't care at all about how she's feeling. That was what concerned me the most in this conversation. Because you would think that you'd hear that and be like, maybe let's put the brakes on things for a minute because she seems to be a little uncomfortable.
Well, what's confusing is that then Sara said yes. Yeah, let's be exclusive then. So is this just her way to get out of this house because she doesn't feel safe now and she has to leave?
I think partially. I do think that she felt like she was put on the spot and she had to give them an answer. And if she had to go one way or the other in this conversation, that she was leaning towards, yes, let's keep exploring this, but it's not a hard yes of, yes, I'm committed to being part of your family forever.
If it were a Ryan family date, you have to give the answer that's going to get you out of this house alive.
You have to give a blood oath at the end. And commit to a couple of STI panels.
Probably. I'm worried that Sarah's likely to ghost them at this point because I don't know if she's going to know how to come back from this, because it was a very awkward ending to the conversation too, because Sai, their baby, was napping while she was there, but then he woke up. So they went and got him and then kind of introduced baby Sai to Sara, who seemed very standoffish.
She did not seem into the baby, which this woman's about to have another baby. There are going to be two. She's not into the one that's already here.
So that was kind of weird. And then there was an awkward exchange at the door saying goodbye. And then Ashley and Sara did kiss goodbye, but Sara was kind of on the fence of whether she should kiss Ashley in front of baby Sai. She didn't know. She looked for a second like maybe she should try to interact with Sai before she left and went out the door, but yes. She just turned and bailed. She didn't say anything, didn't address the kid.
She has her own child, doesn't she?
Yeah, she has a child.
I felt like she was interacting with this baby like she was someone early in their 20s who had no experience around children and wasn't interested in them.
Or like this kid was on fire and she did not want to be responsible for this at all. Yeah.
Well, let's think about the fact that she has only known them for a very short period of time. She went on that date in the park with Ashley. She met up with them and had the weird interview where they played mini golf. And now she's come to their house and they've introduced her to their baby.
And if now you've made the commitment to be exclusive with them, but you were only giving that as an appeasement answer so you can get out of this house alive, and you're planning on ghosting them as soon as you get to your car, you're going to delete their number. You don't want to get attached to this kid. So yeah, you got to get out of there.
I don't think that she's into this situation. I don't think Shane is either, even though he's really pretending that now that they've gotten the okay from Sara that she's here to be exclusively with them, that he's good with it all of a sudden.
He was trying. Yeah, it seems like he's flip-flopping again because he sounded upset when he closed the door after Sara left and he said, "What just happened?" He sounded like he was upset about the kiss, this exchange that happened in front of him, that they were kissing goodbye. And he's turning again on, is it too fast? Is it too slow? What is it? What is it that's upsetting to Shane? Every single form of involvement he's not happy with. It's very difficult to get a read on this.
I agree. I don't think that he's into the situation. It's just, this is what he's having to do to ensure Ashley is happy. They go out to dinner with their friend Rachel. This is the same one who came to hang out by the pool, right?
I think it is his axe-throwing friend.
And this whole dinner is just to reiterate the fact that they met someone. Her name is Sara. Here's what you have to know about her. She committed to us, so now we're really excited about it. And really, the thing that is important that Rachel brings up is it kind of feels like you guys are moving really fast and you have a lot going on right now. So does it feel like the right time to be exploring this and seeking a sister wife?
Because, again, it seems like Shane is the one who's pushing for it, but then he also seems like the barrier in a lot of these situations, too, because Ashley is enjoying these dates, particularly with Sara, but Shane he was due for another cancer screening. He's waiting for results from that, so I think he's probably nervous. He's apprehensive. It's all playing into that.
Well, and she's going to have a baby at any point now. She's pretty pregnant.
She's got her heart monitor on too. People were calling that out from the last episode too. They confirmed it on their Reddit Ask Me Anything that happened as well.
It does seem like there's a lot going on. And I feel like both of these people need a therapist.
That was what I had at one point in my notes, because Ashley was talking about how she's enjoying these dates, dating women in particular, because she hasn't done that before. But she enjoys the emotional conversations that she's able to have with the women. And then they cut to Shane's reaction where he looked kind of deflated in that because he can't be an emotional conversation piece for Ashley, is what the implication is there. But I feel like he bottles up a lot of stuff, because then he kind of dumped on his friend last week where he'd never cried in front of a man before having these types of conversations.
It just seems like there's a lot in play here, and that they need to be able to express how they're actually feeling to other people, because they're not doing that with one another. They just completely breeze by all of the points that Rachel brought up, though. And they're like, isn't it nice to have Rachel's blessing on all of this?
Sounds like Rachel's on board with this.
It's like, how did you get that impression?
Well, it's like the same thing with when they're forcing Sara to commit to them, and then, oh, good, that went well.
I was like, she asked you a lot of hard questions that you guys didn't have answers to.
And voiced concerns, that are nowhere near being addressed.
Hey, this is Mario Lopez from On With Mario Daily Podcast, here to tell you about the legacy of excellence Toyota has been building for years, from developing hybrid technology to upping the standards of safety and efficiency. Toyota is always innovating, always making progress, and with a superior lineup of in-stock SUVs, including the adventure-ready RAV4 and capable, affordable Corolla Cross, you can experience the legacy of Toyota for yourself. Visit buyatoyota.com, the official website for deals, to find out more. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. That's right. We're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Hey, true crime fans. Tired of ads interrupting your gripping investigations? Good news. With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. After all, ads shouldn't be the scariest thing about true crime. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free true crime. That's amazon.com/ad-free true crime to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Hi, this is Jonathan Fields, host of The Good Life Project, where each week I talk to listeners about investing in their future by increasing their own vitality. But when it comes to those financial goals, whether it be saving for a home renovation, growing your child's college fund, or travel, life can make it difficult to stay the course. By working with a dedicated Merrill advisor, you get a personalized plan and a clear path forward. Having the bull at your back helps your whole financial life move with you. So when your plans change, Merrill's with you every step of the way. Go to ml.com/bullish to learn more. Merrill, a Bank of America company. What would you like the power to do? Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, registered broker-dealer, registered investment advisor, member SIPC.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Well, we have more friends visiting this episode because the Salahoudins are throwing yet another dinner party, and their friends Shamir and Mike, who are also polygamists, are going to come over for dinner to just talk about the ups and downs of polygamy.
We don't need more footage of Naeem and Nailah talking to friends about polygamy in theory. We need more bad date footage.
Go on dates.
We need them to have dates that are just terrible.
That was entertaining.
That was good.
Alexis out again.
And it doesn't need to be Alexis, but just anybody, just bad dates.
The audience is here for it. That's the content we want. We don't want to watch you just talking about doing this. It's not fun.
Because it's becoming one of those things where it's like, is this something that's even doable? What I got concerned about too was when they were talking about how Shamir and Mike are also seeking sister wives too. So I was like, whoa, you're in direct competition now.
Oh, you saw competition. At first I was like, why don't you combine forces? And then I was like, oh, I guess that really doesn't work, huh?
Oh, yeah, that one.
You can only have one man. But who knows? Because sister wives seem to drop like flies in the story here. So maybe Shamir will be looking for a new family. Keep the lines of communication open. That's all I'm going to say.
Which they did not do with Alexis because they ghosted her after that wine bar date.
Yeah, so yes. Nailah tells Shamir about that really, really, really bad date they had with Alexis. And she's being very, in my opinion, like, I knew it was going to be bad the whole time. And this is all Naeem's fault because he thought that it was worth trying.
That wasn't how they presented it to us, though, on the episode when we watched the date, because they were basically saying, we know this girl isn't a good fit for us, but we just want to get some dating experience.
I guess she was very against going on the date, is the way she's presenting it now. That this person was way too young for them, and that's the way it all worked out in the end. So he should have just listened to her.
But these are kind of the challenges of seeking a sister wife and polygamy in general. Getting a judge, getting a read on people's character and what their motivations are. Nailah seems very anxious about a lot of that because it's very hard to tell. Are there some women who are just coming in for self-serving reasons that can work to their advantage? Like, how can I get free childcare, or how can I pay off my Victoria's Secret credit card, or, just any sort of personal motives that could be behind this.
Or sometimes you have a sister wife come into a family and they just want the man at the end, and their plan is to squeeze you out the whole time.
Which, not to say that that's what Shamir had happened, because Shamir was technically, the third wife they were talking about?
Yeah, so their story was very confusing because Mike was married originally. That wife said, no, thank you, I'm not interested in this life, and bailed. Then he had wife number 2, and they met Shamir, and they were besties. And he made it sound like wife number 2 left them because of other people and the things other people had to say about their lifestyle. So she was out. So now he's just left with Shamir, and they're looking for a sister wife.
It's hard, too, because there's not a lot of familial support in either one of these families. Shamir was talking about how her mom's not very supportive about seeking sister wife, and that is something that is very familiar for Naeem. He knows his mom does not support seeking a sister wife.
I think that's what their entire story is going to become from here on out because it's all they've got.
Well, I think that was a good angle from the preview that we saw, too, with
the fight that starts at another dinner.
It's another meal, but there is a fight that's involved. So that's good.
We are upping the ante here. The most interesting aspect of the conversation was when they started to talk about jealousy. And Shamir was sharing how she felt in her own experience being jealous of a sister wife. And Nailah's like, yeah, I haven't experienced that yet. I'm not really a jealous person. And Shamir basically laughs at her.
Well,
they all pretty much laugh, where they're like, well, that's because you haven't gotten far enough into a relationship where you actually start to experience jealousy.
Yeah, it's because the reason why you haven't experienced jealousy is because Naeem hasn't found anybody who threatens your role in this relationship.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's kind of been a dud or just hasn't shown up. Like, she's never even met them in person.
So she's not going to know until she knows and she experiences it. But to tell Shamir, oh, I don't think I'm the type who will feel jealousy, Shamir knows that was bullshit right out the gate.
And they end this episode basically just talking about the fact that they understand there are a lot of risks to going into a relationship like this. Nailah knows that one day Naeem can turn around and decide that he doesn't want to be married to her anymore, which I guess is something that exists no matter what.
That's every relationship, every marriage.
Right. You just maybe have someone else involved who may speed up that process. But they really think the benefits of having a sister wife are worth all of the risks.
I'll tell you, the most upsetting part of this entire segment for me was the raw burgers on the top rack of the grill.
They were Impossible Burgers.
I mean,
I don't think there's like not really any raw meat in them.
At that point, though, you're not getting any of the heat from the actual grill. You're not going to get any char marks on there. You're basically just putting it in the oven.
I'm telling you, someone's going to tell you that that's what it says on the instructions.
I really don't know.
I feel like I'm tired of seeing the Salahuddins because all they do is talk about wanting to live polygamy. And I think that they're the kind of family who maybe enjoys the fact that they are different in this way. And they talk about it a lot, but they're not really doers.
If I have to see them spiralize any more vegetables, I'm going to lose my shit.
Next episode, the Merrifields meet Nathalia's friends, and Danielle reveals her true feelings to Nathalia. Things reach a tipping point between the Salahuddins and Naeem's mother. The Davis sisters meet with a potential sister wife.
That's all happening and more. Well, I'm bummed that the Ryans aren't included in the description, but we'll have to hope for at least a filler scene that we can have.
Just a little cameo.
Something to kind of tide us over until the next big storyline here.
Thank you for listening. If you want to support us, the best way to do that is by subscribing to the podcast or leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Be sure to chat with us about the episode on our Discord channel by joining our Patreon, patreon.com/survivingpod.
Stay tuned, share with friends. See you next time.
Hey there. Looking to level up your shopping experience? Let me introduce you to Amazon Live. If you haven't heard, it's a shoppable video experience where influencers and creators showcase the latest must-haves all while you shop in real time. And for those who love some celeb gossip, reality stars like Kyle Richards, Lala Kent, and friend of the pod, Paige DeSorbo. On her new show, In Bed with Paige DeSorbo, Paige invites top-tier guests to cozy up in her fluffy bed where they spill secrets, share nighttime routines, and even whip up midnight snacks. Stream and shop new episodes of her series In Bed with Paige DeSorbo every Tuesday at 7 p.m. ET by going to amazon.com/live/Paige_DeSorbo. Or you can watch Amazon Live's new live TV channel on Freevee or Prime Video under the DIY section and shop along on your phone.